University Challenge. Asking the questions, Amol Rajan.
Hello and welcome to University Challenge. The first round of the competition continues tonight with a match between the two largest universities in the UK. The team that wins will be guaranteed a place in round two. The losers will have to rely on the repechage to secure their spot, and there's only room in there for the four highest scoring losing teams of the round. Established in 1969, the Open University was the brainchild of Harold Wilson and his arts minister Jenny Lee, who recognised that delivering courses remotely could help widen access to higher education. Since then, more than 2.3 million people have studied with the OU, including the epidemiologist Chris Whitty and the hockey player Helen Richardson-Walsh. It's also the UK's largest provider of higher education for people with disabilities. Last year's OU team reached the quarter-finals, the university's best finish in this competition since 1999, when it won its second series title. Let's meet the team aiming for its third.
Hi, I'm Nicky Maven. I'm from Jarrow in South Tyneside and I'm studying natural sciences.
Hi, I'm Tom Barber. I'm from Bournemouth and I'm studying physics.
And their captain.
Hi, I'm Kerry Westerman, originally from Denmark. I now live and work in Glasgow and I'm studying art history.
Hi, I'm Hector Payne. I'm from Teddington in Middlesex. I'm studying for a Masters in Finance.
University College London, or UCL, was founded in 1826 by a group of liberal reformers, including Henry Brougham. At the time, its commitment to secularism, progressive ideals and removing economic barriers to access led to it being dismissed in some corners as the Cockney College for radical infidels. Today, it's the second largest university in the UK, with alumni including Joseph Lister, Kathleen Lonsdale and Jomo Kenyatta. Last series, UCL finished runners-up for a record-equalling third time. But the university is yet to take a series title. Let's meet the team, hoping they'll be the ones to change that.
Hi, I'm Callum Jack. I'm from Sutton in South London and I'm studying for a Masters in Science Communication.
Hi, I'm Josh Mandel from North London and I'm studying United States History and Politics.
And their captain.
Hi, I'm Olivia Holtman-Entwistle. I'm from London and I'm studying for a PhD in Human Geography.
Hi, I'm Sanjay Prabhakar. I'm from London and I'm studying for a Masters in Science Education.
Well done. Got through that bit. You feeling ready? No. I think we might as well get going. OK, here you go. Fingers on buzzers. Here is your first starter for 10. Good luck. In 1935, which author wrote a poem that begins, "A happy vicar I might have been 200 years ago, to preach upon eternal doom and watch my walnuts grow"? The writer included the poem in his essay entitled Why I Write.
UCL Mandel.
George Orwell.
It was, of course, George Orwell, yes. Your bonuses, UCL, are 3 questions on culinary plants and animals named after Japan. Farmed extensively in Japan, where it is known as namako, Apostocoppus japonicus is an edible species of what class of echinoderms? I need a 2-word common name, which indicates the resemblance of their soft, cylindrical bodies to a common culinary vegetable.
Sea cucumber. Yeah. Sea cucumber.
Yes. Ereobotria japonica is a member of the rose family grown commercially for its sweet-sour, yellow-orange fruits, similar in form to apricots. It is known by what common name related by its Chinese derivation to that of a biologically distinct citrus fruit?
Yuzu.
I think it's yuzu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yuzu.
No, it's loquat. Finally, what is the common name of Eutrema japonicum, a member of the brassica family cultivated for its rhizomes, which are used to make a pungent green condiment?
Wasabi. Wasabi.
It is wasabi, yes. Another starter question now. In 2019, Jürgen Stock was reappointed to serve a second 5-year term as Secretary-General of which international organisation? Founded in 1923, its emblem features olive branches, symbolising peace, scales symbolising justice, the globe indicating the worldwide nature of its activities, and an upright sword symbolising police action.
Open Maving.
Interpol?
It is Interpol, yes. Your bonuses then open are 3 questions on the Mount of Olives in Jerusalem. In the second book of Samuel, King David ascends the Mount of Olives following the rebellion of which of his sons? A tomb carved into the lower slopes is traditionally believed to belong to this son.
Do you have any idea? Nope.
Is it Solomon or?
Nominate Payne.
Solomon?
No, it's Absalom. At which site on the Mount of Olives is Jesus said to have prayed in agony immediately before he was betrayed by Judas and arrested?
Gethsemane, is it? Garden of Gethsemane?
Nominate Maving.
Garden of Gethsemane?
Correct. What event occurred on the Mount of Olives about 40 days after the crucifixion, according to Luke's account in the Act of the Apostles?
The resurrection,
yeah.
That was only 4 days. 40 days after, I don't know.
Nope.
Nothing resurrection.
Nope. Resurrection.
No, it's the Ascension. Another starter question now. In the 1820s, the French physician Jean Lugol developed an eponymous solution based on a 2-to-1 mix of the potassium salt and the free form of what chemical element? It is used medically to treat the thyroid gland, which requires this...
Open Barber.
Iodine.
Correct, yes. Your bonus is open are 3 questions on twins in literature. Published in 2006, which novel concerns twin sisters named Olana and Kainene from a wealthy Nigerian family during the Biafran War?
Under the Yellow Sun, I'm thinking. Under the Yellow Sun?
I can't accept that, I'm afraid. It's half of a yellow sun. Bad luck.
Okay.
Who wrote the 2020 novel The Vanishing Half, which features a pair of twins raised in Louisiana?
That's a pass.
Britt Bennett. Following a pair of twins in Kerala in the 1960s, The God of Small Things is which author's debut novel? It won the 1997...
Roy.
It is Arundhati Roy, yes, well done, 1997 Booker Prize. Picture round now, and for your picture starter, you are going to see a map on which a major city has been highlighted. For 10 points, name the city.
Open Pain.
Graz.
Yes, well done, that's right. For your picture starter, you saw a map of Graz in Austria, whose city mayor, Elke Kahr, won the 2023 World Mayor Prize, a biennial award made by a think tank known as the City Mayors Foundation. Your picture bonuses will be maps showing the locations of 3 more cities whose mayors have won this award, with a picture of said mayor alongside. In each case, you just need to name the city, not the mayor. First, what city is this, the 2012 winner?
That looks like Bilbao or something.
Oh, could it be San Sebastian?
Bilbao's more obvious, so
Okay.
I'll say Bilbao. Sorry, there's
Bilbao.
You backed the right horse there, yes, Bilbao. Secondly, the city that won in 2014.
Oh, what state?
That is...
No, it's in Canada, isn't it? So
That's not... Yeah, it is Canada.
It's not British Columbia, it's next to it. So,
Is that Alberta or Saskatoon?
yeah, it's Alberta, so it's going to be Calgary or Edmonton. So Calgary, maybe?
Calgary.
Yes. And finally, this 2021 joint winner.
Okay, so that's either Netherlands or...
That is...
That's the Netherlands, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is it Rotterdam, is it? Or Amsterdam?
It's not Amsterdam.
Rotterdam, then.
Rotterdam.
Correct. Fingers on buzzers. Set around St. Valentine's Day in 1900, which film of 1975 describes the disappearance of a group of schoolchildren during an excursion to a geological landmark? It was adapted from a novel...
UCL Mandel.
Picnic at Hanging Rock.
Yes, it is, yeah. Your bonuses then, UCL, are on moorland vegetation. In each case, give the common name of the plant from the description. First, a kind of sedge that takes its name from its fluffy white seed heads. One of its names appears in W.H. Auden's poem Night Mail.
Cowslip is literally the only thing I can got. Fluffy dandelion?
No.
I don't know.
Sedge. Marshmallow.
Mallow. Yeah.
Yeah? Mallow.
No, it's cotton grass. Second, a Greek-derived name for a large genus also known as bog moss or peat moss.
Sphagnum? Sphagnum moss is a thing.
Nominate Jack.
Sphagnum?
Yes, that's correct, yes. Finally, Calluna vulgaris, a widespread, low-growing perennial shrub, often with mauve flowers.
Oh, heather. Or gorse, potentially.
No, of course, is yellow.
Okay, then heather then.
Heather.
Correct, yes. Let's start the question. Which major city occupies most of the largest island of the Hochelaga archipelago? Smaller islands in the archipelago include Ile Bizarre, Ile Jésus, and Ile Laval, and it lies at the confluence of the Ottawa and St. Lawrence rivers.
UCL Mandel.
Quebec City.
No.
Open Pain.
Montreal.
Montreal is correct, yes. Well done. Your bonuses then open are on feminism and fashion. This is a quote. It also fitted in with the sexual revolution. A woman who chose to could be out of it in less than a minute. Which Belgian designer said this of the jersey wrap dress that she created in the 1970s and with which she is particularly associated?
Diane van Fussenberg.
Yes, correct. A former member of the Italian Communist Party and a trained mime who transformed her family business of luxury leather bags into an international fashion house. Her nickname is used for a subsidiary of her brand.
No, Italian, it's not Gucci, it's not Prada?
Correct. Which British designer has said of her business, it is nearly 80% women on both the creative and business side of the brand? She was Team GB's creative director for the 2012 Olympics.
I think that's Stella McCartney.
yeah.
Stella McCartney.
Correct, yes. Let's start the question. Meaning 5 principles in Sanskrit, Panchasila has, since 1945, been the official national philosophy of which country? Initially a compromise between Islamic nationalists and those seeking to accommodate religious and ethnic diversity, it was used from 1966 to 1998 as a justification for the authoritarian rule of the military dictator Suharto.
UCL Mantle.
Indonesia.
Correct, yes. Your bonuses, UCL, are on law. Enacted in about 450 BCE, the Law of the 12 Tables is the earliest body of legislation of which ancient polity?
Because I feel it might be Locris.
Anyone got anything else?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Could be wrong.
Locris.
Yeah.
Locris?
No, it's Rome. The Lex Hortensia of 287 BCE stated that the laws passed by what grouping would be binding on all citizens?
Senate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds believable. Yeah. Senate?
No, it was the plebeians. During the 6th century of the Common Era, which emperor ordered the codification known as the Corpus Juris Civilis? A single regnal name is enough here.
Justinian.
Yes, correct. Justinian the first was great. Let's start the question now. Which high-level computer programming language has popular packages including pandas?
Open Barber.
Python.
Yes, well done. Your bonuses open are 3 questions on towns and cities whose names have similar meanings. In each case, name both places from the description. First, a city that is the capital of a canton of the same name in western Switzerland and, in its short form name, a city of northeast England.
Okay, so Canton, West Switzerland, so you got
Lausanne, no, it's not.
Is that the capital, right? So it's going to be...
No, I'm not sure. Pass.
That was Neuchâtel and Newcastle.
Of course. Yeah.
Secondly, the seaport in western France that is the capital of the Charente-Maritime Department and the capital of the US state located between Missouri and Louisiana.
Louisiana, Missouri. It's going to be Oklahoma, is it?
That Oklahoma City, but it can't be Oklahoma City. Anything else?
It's gonna be...
No. Pass.
La Rochelle and Little Rock. Little Rock's the capital of Arkansas, of course. Finally, 2 national capitals having names of French and English origin that lie on the western African coast. One lies on the Gulf of Guinea and the other is a little south of its country's border with Guinea.
Freetown and Libreville.
Freetown and Libreville.
Yes, well done. Let's start the question now. 4 past midnight, just after sunset, and full dark, no stars are among the short story collections of which US author? Since 1990, all 3 have won a Bram Stoker Award for horror writing.
UCL Jack.
Stephen King.
It is Stephen King, yes. Your bonuses, then, UCL, are on scientists born in 1773. In each case, a surname is enough for the points. Born in Somerset in 1773, which polymath gives his name to a measure of a solid material's resistance to elastic deformation, defined as the ratio of stress applied to strain produced?
Young.
Yes. Which Scottish botanist gives his name to the random movement of microscopic particles suspended in a liquid or gas? He observed this when studying pollen grains.
Brown.
Correct. Finally, which German gives his name to a relative scale of hardness that ranks minerals based on their ability to scratch the surface of other minerals? It is Friedrich Mohs, yes. Another starter question now, fingers on buzzers. It's a music round, and for your music starter, you are going to hear a piece of music from the 1980s. For 10 points, name the band.
Open Maving.
Run DMC.
That was, of course. For your music starter, you heard It's Like That by Run DMC, who are the first hip-hop group to achieve gold and platinum certification by the Recording Industry Association of America. For your music bonuses, you need to identify 3 more hip-hop acts who achieved notable firsts in RIAA certification. First, the first female solo hip-hop artist to achieve a gold album.
I saw you wildin', acting like a fool. I peeped you out the window, jumping girls.
Latifah could be Lauren. Nominate Maven.
Queen Latifah?
Yes. Secondly, the first hip-hop single to reach platinum.
Working all week, not
It's Tone Loc.
So the weekend comes, I go get live with the honey. Rolling down the street, I saw this girl when she was pumping. I winked my eyes, got into the ride, went to a club, was jumping. Introduced myself.
Tone Loc.
Yep, Tone Loc.
Yeah.
And finally, the first female hip-hop group to achieve both a gold and platinum album.
That's Salt and Pepper.
That is Salt and Pepper, yeah. Fingers on buzzers, another starter question now. What 2-word term was popularised in anthropological thought by Franz Boas to articulate the idea that the beliefs and practices of a personal community should not be evaluated against the norms and values of the ethnographer and instead be understood in the context of their culture?
UCL Prabhakar.
Cultural relativism?
It is cultural relativism, yes, in the context of their culture. Your bonuses then, UCL, are 3 questions on writing systems invented by a single person. Born in North Carolina in the 1770s, the Native American polymath Sequoyah invented a syllabary for the language of which people?
It's North Carolina. Cherokee are in Florida.
Sorry?
Cherokee in Florida.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Cherokee.
Correct. Named after its inventor, the Afaka script is a syllabary for Njuka, a Creole language spoken in which country on the north coast of South America?
So it's going to be Suriname.
Yeah. I think Guyana.
It's either going to be Ghana or something.
Yeah. Just Guyana. Guyana.
Bad luck, it's Suriname. Bad luck. Created under the leadership of King Sejong the Great in order to increase literacy, what name, meaning great script, refers to the system used to write Korean?
Hangul.
Nominate Mandel.
Hangul.
Hangul is correct, yes, well done. Let's start the question. Occurring consecutively in the alphabet, which 2 letters are the only 2 consonants in words with these meanings? A name applied in North America to a large species of deer, also known as the wapiti.
Open Maven.
L and K?
It is L and K, or K and L, yes, well done, well worked out. Your bonuses, Open, are on the architectural style known as brick Gothic, associated with regions that do not have resources of standing rock. First, UNESCO inscribed the historic centre of which city for its significance in the development of brick Gothic? The citation also mentions this city's connection with artists such as Jan van Eyck and Hans Memling and calls it the birthplace of the Flemish primitives.
It'll be Bruges, surely. Bruges?
No, it's Bruges.
Bruges. Is it Bruges?
Yeah.
Sure.
Bruges.
It was Bruges, yes. Another UNESCO citation refers to brick cathedrals and civic buildings in Stralsund and Wismar. In which country are these cities?
Wismar and
Stralsund, it
sounds Nordic.
sounds Nordic almost.
Yeah. What?
Denmark.
No. Norway?
No, it's Germany. Malbork Castle is cited as the most complete and elaborate example of a Gothic brick-built castle complex in the style of the Teutonic Order. In which country is Malbork?
Malbork could be Lithuania.
Yeah, it's going to be Poland. Yeah, I'll say Lithuania's a good shout.
Yeah. Lithuania.
Bad luck, it's Poland.
Oh, it's the other one, sorry.
Let's start the question now. In biology, what Greek letter links all the following? Pore-forming proteins found in the outer membrane of gram-negative bacteria, the glucose monomers that polymerize to form cellulose, and a group of drugs such as propranolol that block the effects of a drug.
UCL Halterman and Whistle.
Beta.
Yes, it is beta. Well done. Your bonuses, UCL, 3 questions on marriage. A 1753 Act restricted legally binding marriage ceremonies in England and Wales to those performed under specific auspices of the Church of England. 2 religious groups were exempted from its provisions. Name either one.
Catholics. Yeah.
Is it more specific, like Quakers or someone?
I mean,
Go with Catholics.
there's a lot of anti-Catholic legislation at the time.
Catholics.
Bad luck, it's Jews or Quakers. A Marriage Act in which decade enabled non-religious civil marriages in register offices? This decade is associated with legislation sometimes known as the Whig reforms.
Like 1880s something?
No, it'd be earlier.
Earlier?
1820s or 30s.
Anyone else?
20s?
Yeah. 1820s?
Bad luck, it's the 1830s. Which decade saw the marriage's approved premises regulations? These stated that any venue that was seemly and dignified could be licensed for the solemnisation of marriage.
It's quite recent, yeah.
2000s?
Yes, not later.
We had to get married in a registry.
Okay.
I think it's certainly not earlier.
Okay, so 2000s. The 2000s?
Bad luck again, it's the 1990s. Another starter question now. Gertrude Grunoff was a teacher at which school of art? The members of which also included Marianne Brandt and Annie Albers.
Open Westerman.
Bauhaus is correct. 3 questions for you open on the astronomer and philosopher Pierre Gassendi. In 1631, Gassendi was the first person to record what specific astronomical event, occurring around 13 times per century? In 2014, the Curiosity rover took the first photograph of this event from a planet other than Earth.
Is that an eclipse or something?
Yeah, could that be an eclipse?
An eclipse, yeah.
Yeah. Eclipse.
No, it's the transit of Mercury. Which thinker included Gassendi's refutation of his rationalist philosophy in the 1642 edition of his work Meditations in order to respond to Gassendi's criticisms?
Is that Descartes, maybe? Meditations, possibly.
Meditations.
Descartes, maybe?
Nominate Payne.
Descartes?
It was Descartes, yeah. Towards the end of his life, Gassendi published the first biography of which Danish scientist? In it, he claims that observing the eclipse of 1560 as a boy inspired the subject of the work to become an astronomer.
Yeah, Tycho Brahe.
Tycho Brahe.
Yes, correct, well done. Another starter question now, and it's a picture round. For your picture starter, you're going to see a photograph of a footballer. For 10 points, give me his name.
Open Payne.
Puskás.
Yes, well done, that's right. The Hungarian player Ferenc Puskás, who you saw for your starter, gives his name to an award made annually by FIFA for the most spectacular goal scored in a season. For your picture bonuses, you need to identify 3 more footballers who have awards named after them. From here, the awards are all among those made at the annual Ballon d'Or ceremony. First...
Is that Lev Yashin? Yeah.
Yeah. Nominate Payne.
Lev Yashin.
Yep, the Yashin Trophy is awarded to the season's best goalkeeper. Second...
Socrates, yeah, good job.
Socrates.
Yes, the Socrates Award has been made since 2022 in recognition of social commitment. Finally...
Gerd Müller.
Gerd Müller.
Yes, the Gerd Müller Trophy is given to the striker of the year. Another starter question. I do not want what I haven't got. And shaving my head.
UCL Mantle.
Sinead O'Connor.
Well done, it was the late Sinead O'Connor. Your bonuses, UCL, are on winners of the Polar Music Prize. Which musician won the award in 2007 for his unique ability to use repeats, canon technique and minimal variation of patterns? His work includes the 1976 piece Music for 18 Musicians.
That's Philip Glass.
Yeah.
Yes,
Philip Glass?
No, that was Steve Reich. Which musician won the award in 2005 for his unflinching creative engagement in bringing to the world the heart and soul of the rich music of Brazil? From 2003 to 2008, he served as Brazil's Minister of Culture.
No, I don't.
Gilberto.
Nominate Mandel.
Gilberto.
I need more than that.
João Gilberto.
No, it's Gilberto Gil. Finally, which 2011 American winner's citation states that she demonstrated how much rock and roll there is in poetry and how much poetry there is in rock and roll? Her highest charting song in the UK was Because the Night in 1978.
Yeah. Patti Smith.
Correct. Another starter question. The US academic and cultural critic Donna Haraway used what 1960s coinage in a
UCL Halterman Entwistle.
Cyborg.
Correct. Your bonuses, UCL, are on letters in the novels of Jane Austen. In each case, you'll hear an extract from a letter that appears in one of Austen's novels. Simply name the novel. First, though, God knows, with little inclination for writing, I think it my duty to tell you that everything is at an end between Miss Thorpe and me. I left her and Bath yesterday, never to see either again.
Persuasion.
Go for it.
Do we have anything else?
No.
Persuasion.
No, it's Northanger Abbey. Secondly, at present, believe me, I have no need of your services, being in cash again. Give me joy, I have got rid of Sir Walter and Miss...
It's not one I've read.
So try Mansfield Park.
Mansfield Park.
That was persuasion. Finally, be not alarmed, madam, on receiving this letter by the apprehension of its containing any repetition of those sentiments or renewal of those offers, which were last night so disgusting to you.
I think it might be Emma.
Yeah. Emma?
No, it's Pride and Prejudice. 3 minutes to go. During the 11th century, Gruach was the wife and Lulach the stepson of which monarch who became king of Moray in 1032 in an eponymous literary work of about 1606?
UCL Mandel.
Macbeth.
Is correct, yes. Your bonuses, UCL, are on words that can mean brazenness, effrontery or impudence. In each case, give the word from the definition. First, an alternative word for the secretion known as bile. A word with the same spelling denotes an abnormal growth on a tree.
Gall.
Gall. Gall.
Correct. Secondly, the specific fleshy body part or area indicated by the term buccal, often used by dentists.
Cheek. Cheek. Cheek.
Yes. Finally, a general class of body tissue that includes the vagus, trigeminal and hypoglossal.
Nerve.
Correct, yes. Now start the question. Give the English name of the insect that, in different languages, gives its name to all of the following. A county in California that includes parts of Yosemite National Park. A shape of pasta, also known as strichetti.
UCL Mandel.
I'm afraid if you... OK, I'm going to be generous and give that. Remember, please answer as soon as your name is called. Your bonuses are on geometric curves. All three answers end in the same three letters. Also known as the tetracuspid, what name is given to the curve whose parametric equations are given by x equals a cos cubed t, y equals a sine cubed t? It derives its more familiar name from the Greek word for star.
Astral.
Come on.
Asterisk.
Nominate Prawaka.
Asterisk.
No, that's an asteroid. Associated with Diocles, what curve has Cartesian equation y squared equals x cubed all over 2a minus x? The name is derived from the Greek word for ivy, as its cusp resembles that of an ivy leaf.
And oid. Paraboloid? I don't know.
Come on.
Nominate Jack.
Paraboloid?
No, it's cissoid. What name is given to the curve whose equation in polar coordinates is r equals a, open brackets, 1 minus cos theta, close brackets? It derives its name from the Greek word for heart.
Cardioid.
Yeah.
Nominate Randall.
Cardioid.
Correct. Another start of the question. As State Herald, Fred Brownell designed the national flag of which country in 1994, said to represent a unification of old and new traditions?
Open paint.
South Africa.
It is the Republic of South Africa. Your three questions are on rivers that cross deserts. Known historically by the Greek name Oxus, which river? And at the goal, UCL of 175 and Open of 190. Wow, what a thrilling finish to an absolutely superb game. Guys, well played. I mean, to be beaten by such a strong team is no indignity whatsoever. And I think, based on previous series, there's a really reasonable chance you guys might well come back. Well, you got on TV, which is the main thing, and you may well get on TV again. So thank you for coming along and being such terrific sports. Open, you made it stressful for yourselves at the end there, didn't you? You sort of disappeared for the last 10 minutes or something for no obvious reason. But knowing a bit about South Africa got you through in the end. So well done for that heroic final answer. We shall see you again for sure. I hope you could join us next time too for another first round match. But until then, it is goodbye, at least for now. From UCL.
Goodbye.
It's goodbye from Open University.
Goodbye.
And it's goodbye from me. Goodbye.